Hi there! It's Jenny from Quick Anime Recap, and today we're recapping a harem comedy anime called Are You the Only One Who Loves Me? So sit tight and enjoy the video. The anime opens in early spring. A young schoolboy named Joro is leaving his house to go to school. As he is walking, his childhood best friend, Himawari, runs up behind him and greets him. She grabs Joro's arm and walk to school together. And when they arrive at their classroom, his best friend since middle school, Sun, is already there and walks over to greet them. At that moment, the student council president, Cosmos, enters the classroom, greeting Joro. She tells Joro that she is here to escort him to the student council room, and Sun cheers him on. However, Himawari interrupts them, asking why she is here, which Cosmos says she came to see the person she wanted to see, and Himawari angrily turns to leave. At the student council room, she reveals that she wants to invite him to meet her the next day, and Joro has a shocked look on his face as he accepts her offer, and they arrange to meet at the train station clock tower. That night, Joro is excitedly thinking about his date with Cosmos tomorrow, and suddenly, he gets a message from Himawari asking to meet with him tomorrow, but he can't tomorrow, so she changes to Sunday, to which Joro agrees. On Saturday, Joro is waiting at the clock tower, and when Cosmos arrives and greets him, he is stunned by her appearance. They then enjoys their date together and having fun in the meantime. In the evening, Cosmos sits on a bench at a park and asks him to sit next to her, and she tells him that there is someone she likes. Joro swallows anxiously as Cosmos turns and leans toward him and shouts that she likes his best friend, Sun. And Joro is taken by surprise as Cosmos continues, telling him that it started at last year's regional baseball tournament. She recalls how Sun's team lost, but he was encouraging his teammates with a smile. After the game, she finds Sun crying by himself, and that was the moment she fell in love with him. And so, she asks Joro to help her and Sun get together, which causes Joro to scream internally, but is swayed by her pleading eyes, and agrees to help. The following day, Joro and Himawari exit a movie theater, and she notices Joro hasn't been acting normal, so she hugs him from behind, trying to cheer him up, which it works and Joro's spirit is lifted. That evening, a familiar scene replay again, as she sits on a bench and tells him there is someone she likes. Joro's heart thumps as Himawari leans toward him, and she shouts that she likes his best friend again. Himawari then continues, telling the same story why she fell in love with him as Cosmos. Joro is twitching in shock at the fact that both girls fell for the same person. Then, she asks him to help her and Sun get together. That night, Joro is seething with anger, and he reveals that his personality is all an act, rhetorically asking where he went wrong with his facade. Suddenly, he has an idea. Since there are two girls and one boy, one of the girls will inevitably become heartbroken, meaning that he would have a chance. And so, he decides to help both of them until one of them starts going out with Sun, which he informs Himawari the next day that Cosmos had a crush on Sun too, and he tells her he will help both of them, and he begins discussing his strategy for Himawari for that day. At school, Joro successfully set up a meeting with Sun and Himawari. Later, he also breaks the news to Cosmos, which he also set up another meeting with Cosmos and Sun. Now at lunchtime, he ends up in the library where it is always quiet, and a girl named Pansy walks up to his table and greets him. Joro insists that he is too tired to talk, to which she responds by outlining his current dilemma with scary accuracy. She reveals she has been stalking him and threatens to tell Sun all of Joro's secrets, forcing him to stay and talk. Joro suddenly notices a park bench in the library, which causes him to panic. She then mimics exactly how both girls had done it, Joro assuming that she too will say she likes Sun. But this time, Pansy tells Joro that she loves him and requests that he come to the library every lunchtime to talk to her. Initially, Joro refuses her request, but she manages to persuade him to agree. The next day, Joro continues trying to help Himawari and Cosmos get closer to Sun, but the progress is slow on both ends. He also has to see Pansy during lunch. Where it is there, she reveals that there is a possibility that Sun might be in love with someone, which is a huge oversight by Joro. And during PE class, he prods Sun about his crush. To which, he brings Joro to a bench nearby, and he immediately knows where this is going. And the girl Sun had a crush on turns out to be Pansy, who cheers him up when he was crying at the tournament back then. And so, Joro tries to get Pansy to go out with Sun, but ends up making her upset, as she have no intent of dating Sun but him. And now at the library talking with Pansy just like she requested, Joro is suddenly approached by Sun, Himawari, and Cosmos, who reveal they know he's been playing them all along. After being confronted by them for his scheme, Joro gets knocked out by Sun. Due to a student watching the confrontation, the school finds out about the incident, and the student body ostracizes Joro. And after a week of bullying, he receives a text from Pansy asking him to go to the library to hear her true feelings, only to witness Sun flirting with Pansy. But suddenly, Pansy lets out that she knew Sun had tricked Joro by using Himawari and Cosmos' feelings for him to manipulate them into trapping Joro into a bad situation. When confronted into his motives, Sunchan admits that he had been in a situation like Joro in middle school, only in reverse, and he wanted revenge on Joro for taking away the one girl he had a crush on. Following that, Pansy rejects Sun's feelings for her, revealing that she had fallen for Joro, after seeing him wait for Sun at the entrance of the tournament with Sun's favorite foods. Sun then tries to force himself onto Pansy, but Joro comes to her aid and berates Sunchan for hurting the girls who loved him and tell him to apologize to the girls before leaving. And unknowingly the girls watched the entire confrontation. And the next day, Himawari and Cosmos tries to fend off the bullies from Joro, and Sun apologizes in front of the whole class, returning Joro's reputation, which he reports all of this to Pansy, but still doesn't want to keep seeing her in the library. Out of the blue, Pansy then undoes her braids and shirt, revealing her true form, the beautiful girl he met at the tournament back then. Joro decides to start visiting her every day, earning him a kiss from her. And as promised, Joro visits the library every day for the following week. But Pansy picked up on his vibe, saying that she is dissatisfied by Joro's reason for coming to the library. She tells him the library is not a hideout, knowing that he has only been coming to the library to avoid his friends, which she encourages him that as long as he is honest with his reconciliation, they will understand and be his friends again. At the classroom, Joro prepares to reconcile and he is approached by Asunaro, the ace reporter of the newspaper club. She is taking a survey for the 100 Flower Festival and asks his opinion on it. As he considers his answer, he notices Himawari struggling with her studies. Thinking this is a good chance for him to make up with her, Joro tries to offer help, but she runs away screaming. And she trips on the way down the stairs, which Joro catches up to her. And they then start shouting at each other, each expressing their desire to reconcile. Eventually, they settle down and properly reconcile. Now relieved that their friendship is fixed, they hug each other. Now on the roof, Sun meets Joro after receiving a letter of challenge in his locker, revealing he challenged him on the upcoming midterm test. And remembering Pansy's advice for him to be honest, he shouts that he wants to be friends with Sun again, which Himawari also joins in. Sun is taken aback by their childish acts, and ultimately accepts the reconciliation. Joro then goes to the library and happily greets Pansy. He proudly tells her he successfully reconciled with Sun and Himawari. Joro has something to ask her, getting her to help them study. She agrees to help, but in return he has to take her somewhere nice. However, it seems like he had forgot someone else. And when Joro is talking with Asunaro in the hallway, he suddenly feels a chilling aura behind him. Realizing he forgot to reconcile with Cosmos, Joro chases her and finds her crying at the bottom of the stairs. She is sad that Joro doesn't care about her, but Joro denies it, claiming he was saving the best for last. After imitating Cosmos's fantasy of his reconciliation, Cosmos accepts his apology. Back at the library, Pansy welcomes the group, congratulating Joro for reconciling with all of them. Joro says that his original plan was for himself and Pansy to tutor Himawari and Sun. But since Cosmos is here, she agrees to tutor all four of them. This seems like a good idea at first, but Cosmos reveals that her study regimen is extremely intense, and Himawari is dying at the thought of Cosmos's math study regimen, so Pansy offers to teach her modern Japanese instead. That evening, the five of them walk home together. Himawari and Cosmos thank Pansy for helping them study, and also Sun indirectly tells Joro that he has gotten over Pansy's rejection, which he smiles at how they are all getting along, but his Hyde persona comes out as his imagination runs wild, revealing his new plan to get a harem with all three of the girls. Meanwhile, in the newspaper clubroom, Asunaro is printing out a copy of her new article which accuses Joro of three-timing. Thanks for watching the video. Still want to watch more anime recap? Click the video on the screen to watch more. And don't forget to subscribe to catch the latest upload.